surcharge or delivery fee. See website for details.
All right, thank you very much. It is, what time is it, Robin? It is 8 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Galen is back in the state of Florida. I believe he's on the road heading up to Gainesville. I didn't really ask him that yet, but he's back to remind us of the importance of donating blood, saving some lives. They had huge numbers up at the Dragon Con event that he was at up in Atlanta, and the work is never done, though, right?
No.
Every single day.
Never.
You need to remind people of the importance of doing this, and when we're ready, we will go back.
That's
you know
right.
what? For a while there, we were every 8 weeks. We were doing it like clockwork, and then we kind of slacked off. We became lazy about it. We got it once. Now that whenever our next date is, we just got to go.
It's November the 4th because you gave 2 years on July 4th, so you had to wait 16 weeks.
My goodness, we got to wait. So on that date, we'll go, and then from then on, we'll do it every 8 weeks, unless they say to me, Mr. Whitlow, would you like to do 2 of them again?
Then you're going to think about it.
Nobody there actually speaks that way, by the way. Good morning, Galen. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, it occurred to us that we were pretty good, like clockwork for a while there. You know, we would always be on the date that we were due, and then we started slacking off. So,
that's understandable. And if they ask you to do double red stuff, do double red stuff.
If they ask me to, yeah. But I'd rather, every 8 weeks feels like I'm doing it more often for some reason. I guess I am.
Well, I'd always rather get 2. But just because of the state of the blood supply.
So did you really feel rested and ready to go back to work today after that long drive? No.
No, not at all. Tired. Tired.
You didn't give yourself a day off.
I've been out of the office for a week. Yeah, I've been out of the office for almost 9 days. It's just, I got a lot to do.
Can you close your door and take a nap in your office?
I probably could, yeah. Yeah, I could.
So we could do that here.
What I would rather do, though, is just leave early. I won't work. I won't work late today.
Oh, okay, okay. So this is an early release day for you.
Yeah, this is one of those days where I wish I'd actually lived like 10 minutes away from the office.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But even when you were gone, not just working at Dragon Con and wherever else you work, even when you were gone on vacation and there was like that mom of the little child that needed the extra blood and things, she called you on the phone and you took time out to personally speak to her. So really you are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and people really appreciate that, knowing that there's people at Life South that really care about them, and that once they go on vacation, they don't cut themselves off from that world.
No, because if you do, you'll just be, and this has never been about anything other than the people that we serve, and our new employees, they don't always get that right away. But once you do, you understand that we have a job to do, and it's more important than just about anything else you're ever going to do in your life. So,
okay. Galen,
either embrace that or it eats you up.
Is it raining where you are?
No, my power's off in my house. I had every excuse in the world not to go to the office today. Like, I gotta go. Yeah, we had no power at my house.
Ocala really got hammered.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But right now you're safe, right? No rain, right?
Yeah, I'm in the tree zone, and it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Well, why is it that, like, when September comes, the sky gets a little different shade of blue, and it's just it's beautiful outside?
I think it's because football season has begun. I think football does that.
See, but I'm not ready for football yet.
You're not? Well, I want to tell you something. I heard that we were playing the Seminole games last night on the air, and I had no idea that we were doing it.
I don't even know who won. Who won?
They did. The Seminoles won.
Seminoles won. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like 7:30.
But here's my input on this. I was thinking about this last night because I was listening to it on the way back from bringing Robin home. Doug and I were listening to it, and it reminded me of when I used to drive a lot, like you do now. When I used to play colleges, I would sometimes tune into a game, even though I'm not really a sports fan. It was just something to listen to, that it was enjoyable to listen to. More the color commentary was fun than really caring. I mean, somebody like you care who's winning and all that, right? But for me, it was just fun listening to the chat. I do that when Tom and those guys do the show on Friday nights with the high school games.
Yeah, I like the high school games.
Yeah, it's a conversation more than anything else, and that's what the greats like Gene Deckerhoff do. They're not talking at you. They're having a conversation with you. And Gene Deckerhoff has been an idol of mine for a long,
He's
long
awesome.
time.
Yeah, when I heard him last night,
Absolutely incredible.
I hadn't heard him in so long, and it felt like, like when you hear an old song, like, oh man, there's that guy, and he's still on top of his game.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really good.
And I'll tell you what, he's one of the classiest people I've ever met in the business. I've met a lot of broadcasters that none better than him. He actually listened to and gave me a good critique of my play-by-play when I was in college. I meant the world to me.
Yeah, I bet it did. Wow, that's awesome.
I sent a ton of them out, and he was one of the ones that actually sent back critique and gave me some really good pointers that I was like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Okay, now I'm not an expert in this field, but the two that I know, Mick Hubert and Gene Deckerhoff, those are the only two college play-by-play guys that I'm really familiar with. Mm-hmm. I don't know either one of them, just to clarify the word.
Nick is about, he is a fan, and that comes on, and so is Gene. But
oh, yeah.
Nick is more of a fan than of football and of athletics more than any other play-by-play guy I've personally met. And, I mean, he loves it, and he's as down-to-earth as you possibly can. I don't think he's as good as Gene Deckerhoff, but, I mean, he's just such a...
Oh, he's clearly a fan.
You can go right now to his office, and he'll sit and talk to you for an hour and a half.
There's no comparison.
Or something.
Yeah, there's no comparison between the college guys, the two that I just named anyway, because they're the only two I know, and the professional guys. The professional guys have to be politically correct when it comes to favoring a team. Those two guys you just named, they don't hold anything back. They're for the team they work for. Yeah,
absolutely, and it all depends on if they're covering a team or not. The Jaguars guy, and I worked with him for a long time. I worked for Jaguars Radio. Brian Sexton. I don't think he's that good, but he's okay. But he's a homer, and you're allowed to do homer if you're doing the local team's broadcast. Just if you're a national guy, you can't. But
okay.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
It's but college and NFL are completely different. And when you see Gene do the Bucks, he calls it differently, and it's that's why I love to listen to him.
Oh, really?
Really? These guys are really talented.
This is WOCA Ocala.
The Source.
There you go. I know you missed doing that, and we have a phone call. Let's take that call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, it's me, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, I like hearing the guys when they're announcing the games. But I tell you what, when football season comes, I have to play Switzerland. With one daughter-in-law graduated from Florida State, and one of my other daughters-in-law graduated from University of Florida, and then I've got a couple of sons that root for their appropriate spouses' teams and stuff. I always say I root for UCF. I'm purely Switzerland when it comes to that. Dad, who do you think is better? I'm sure you about UCF.
I'm sure that goes.
But no, I agree. I like listening to the college announcers more so than the pro announcers, because you're right. The pro announcers tend to be, try to be so neutral.
And I think the only time I hear them is over at Pronto's Pizza.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
On the TV.
Only time I hear them. All right, thank you, Tom.
Of course, I can't remember the guy's name, but he used to announce for Chicago many years ago. He was a Cubs announcer, and I loved him. And he listens to him all the time.
Galen knows.
What was his name, Galen?
Say the name again.
Harry Carey.
Harry Carey.
Yeah, that was it.
How could you forget that name?
Man, he could put,
I know.
He could make a foul ball sound exciting. I mean, the man was incredible. Anyway, have a good day.
Harry Carey. How could you forget a name like Harry Carey? That's too funny. So when autumn comes around, I guess the leaves don't change color here, but we have football. So that's the sign of autumn for us, right?
Yeah. And by the best in the business, if you ever just want to just enjoy a night, listen to Vin Scully. Vin Scully is the absolute best of all time. There's not a I mean, we could argue second place, but Vince Scully is the best.
All right. Well, I have here, by the way, some bad corporate decisions. One of them happens to be about one of them happens to be about football, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Because
Right.
because bottom line is,
the Heidi game.
I don't know. We'll get there. I'm not really sure. I'll tell you. That's honest. I don't really know. But the point is, football is actually a business.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So,
Billion.
so these are pretty quick and simple, actually. Some bad corporate decisions. I added the fact that Decca Records didn't sign the Beatles. It's not on the list, so I'll make that number 11. I thought that should have been on the list, and it wasn't.
It should have.
But number 10, this is the top 10 according to Forbes magazine. The top 10 bad corporate decisions. When Coca-Cola decided to change the formula to New Coke. Number 10.
I'm surprised it's 10. It should be higher than that. Sales did go up after they changed the back, so all's well that ends well.
But what an expensive promotion to go through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Pepsi was smart because they did that, but they went to Pepsi Throwback with their products, so they weren't really committed to changing the flavor of Pepsi because they still kept the flavor from now. So they were smarter in that arena.
By the way, we had a guy on who invented a tea called Honest Tea.
Yes.
And he told us what he did was he used real tea bags and only 1 teaspoon of sugar compared to 8 teaspoons that most iced teas have, right?
Yeah.
So he said it's in Publix. So we went to Publix. We found the iced tea. Mm-hmm. It's called Honest Tea. The calorie count is 100.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like 1/8 to me.
No, it does not.
There's not 800 calories in
a regular
in the other iced tea. I don't know. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that. All right, another bad corporate decision. Number 9, according to Forbes magazine, IBM paid Microsoft a one-time fee to develop PC-DOS PC-DOS, whatever, rather than securing all rights to the system, allowing MS-DOS to be developed right alongside it.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a royalties that they could have still been raking in.
Right.
At the time, it was a huge contract, so, yeah.
The next, number 8 of the bad corporate decisions, according to Forbes, is Microsoft Bob.
Oh, what is
I don't remember that one.
Okay, I didn't either when I first read this. Microsoft Bob was BMOC, whatever that meant. When you have a virtual monopoly on the market, people are going to hate you no matter what. So why give more people fodder for the hate mill? Microsoft Bob, which has been dubbed the idiot cousin to Windows, was supposed to be user interface to simplify Windows 3.1 for computer novices. It came out in 1995. Bob makes it on the most worst tech products of all time list, and even though he was sort of lost in the shuffle surrounding Windows 95, some of his bits and pieces survived, and here's the part that rang a bell for me.
Yes.
Remember the obnoxious paper clip named Clippy?
Oh,
who
yeah.
popped up all the time to give
I
you...
hate that.
That was from Bob, Microsoft Bob. That guy's not around anymore, right?
No, he's not.
I do. It's like, come sliding in, and I'm like, well, I'm typing here.
Yeah.
Right. Number 7 of the worst corporate decisions made is walking out on talks with Gateway 2000 to license Mac OS sales. This is an Apple, I guess. Microsoft became the behemoth it is today in large part due to this misguided decision.
Wow.
Remember how IBM thought the future was all about hardware, not software? Apple didn't completely believe this, thus continually innovative and easy-to-use Apple operating systems.
Gosh.
Anyway.
Isn't that something?
Number 6, British Multicultural Airways. The decision was to paint ethnically inspired designs on the tail fins of all their aircraft.
Gee.
Why this was a bad idea? When the Prime Minister publicly disparages you for being unpatriotic and not painting the Union Jack on your airplanes, going so far as to cover a model with a handkerchief, chances are there are a lot of regular folks who are going to feel this way. Sure, once upon a time, the sun never set on the British Empire, but when this happened in 1997, there weren't many remaining bits of the empire. and many citizens were rather xenophobic.
Uh-oh.
Xenophobic.
Was Tony Blair then 97 or Thatcher? Can't remember.
The decision to reflect the geographic ethnic diversity of the British Airways destinations went over like something smelly.
Ooh.
Anyway, they
Yeah,
stopped the practice.
I bet they did.
I can't really relate. Here's the one about football. The decision by CBS and NBC to reject the right to broadcast Monday Night Football. It was
What
in
about
1969, football wasn't the ratings juggernaut it is today, but it was gaining in popularity. First broadcast in 1970, Monday Night Football is the second longest running show in primetime TV with only 60 minutes surpassing it. It's also incredibly popular, and for years, CBS and NBC virtually gave up their Monday night programming against the ABC broadcast because it was unbeatable.
Yep.
The show has since
All right.
moved to ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Ratings aren't as high as they once were because the games they get aren't as good. But yeah, I mean Howard Cosell. I mean that's
Well, maybe that's part of it.
Gifford,
Yeah.
John Deerdorf, all those guys.
Number 4, and it goes back. This is
Not Meredith, not Deerdorf, Meredith. Sorry.
All right, another bad corporate decision.
All right.
Number 4 on the list goes back to 1876, when Western Union decided to brush off Alexander Graham Bell's telephone invention.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Well, they didn't want competition.
They said, nobody's going to want that.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, it's amazing when some people, it sounds so obvious now that they're like, change. People hate change.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
All right, the decision by, let's see, who did this? By M&M's to not allow Steven Spielberg to use E.T. to be eating M&M's. So Steven Spielberg went to the new candy of the day, Reese's Pieces.
That's right. I remember that controversy. Wow.
It's the third worst decision according to Forbes. Wow.
Everybody bought Reese's Pieces
Well, I mean,
after that.
Reese's is gone, but M&M's is still around. So
Reese's Pieces is still around.
Yeah, they're still here.
you can't. They're not like M&M's though.
I find them on the highway. I find them at the rest area in the vending machine. Yeah, I do find them.
All right.
Anyway, it says here that Reese's
M&M's are the best.
Reese's? See, hardly anybody knew about Reese's, I guess, before the movie came out.
Yeah, I didn't. There was Skittles and M&M's.
And then, let's see, number 2 was a decision called the Release the N-Gage, a mobile phone handheld game system in 2003.
Really?
It was a phone and a game system. Why it was a bad idea? The buttons were designed for phone functionality, the device itself for gaming. So in other words, you could be playing your game and talking on the phone at the same time. It flopped. Cost a lot of money. The N-Gage application came out on October 30th of that year.
What year was that again?
I guess 2008. Seems like it's real recent.
Wow.
It was announced there would be no more N-Gage games. All right, number
so
1 of the
upset.
worst decisions. The worst decisions ever made, corporate decisions, according to Forbes. The decision not to pay $1 gazillion to George Steinbrenner and the Yankees for the rights to broadcast the Bronx Bombers in perpetuity.
What is that? You got to explain
Forever.
That to me.
Granted, a lot of people outside of New York City, especially if they're not sports fans, may not be aware of this corporate decision, but it had a much wider ranging effect than just how baseball fans in the Big Apple could watch their favorite or least favorite, as the case may be, team when MSG, what's MSG, Robin? MSG.
Messengers?
No, Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden,
okay,
thank you.
there you go.
Which stood to still make a great deal of cash on the deal, turned down the offer. Steinbrenner figured he'd just start his own network.
Ooh.
Yep.
The Yes Network was born and has proved to be profitable. That, in turn, has revolutionized sports television, convincing many other sports franchises to develop their own networks, alone or in conjunction with other teams in their cities. So this is a New York-based network? The New York Mets now
yeah.
Okay.
That is.
MSG and Steinbrenner already had revolutionized the business of sports when the Yankees became the first major league team to sell cable TV rights back in 1988.
Wow.
There you go.
Isn't that something?
So
I'm so out of touch.
two sports things on the list of Forbes. Then that being the number one worst corporate decision ever made. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning all again. Say, did you mention the fact that the Ford company came out with the Edsel car that cost them a lot of money, that big flop?
It wasn't on the list, no.
Yeah, that was a biggie. I can still remember that as a younger man when that car came out. It was so unusual, and then it just completely it didn't go anywhere. And I guess it set Ford back quite a bit. So, but it was part of our car history of this country.
Yeah. Thank you, Hugh.
You bet.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there would have been more than 10, but that was the 10 that Forbes picked.
Yeah.
Robin, we need a segue from bad corporate decisions to donating blood.
Well, one of the worst corporate decisions a corporation can make is to not allow the Life South Community Blood Center's Bloodmobile to be at their business, because just have your employees take 20 minutes out of their day just to go donate blood so they can save a life, and you'll be able to be at the Galen Year picnic and celebration if you do that.
Year.
That's right.
I got a license plate that says Galen Year.
You do. It's in your office.
You must be a 20-30 gallon year, Robin, of all the blood you've given.
I don't know, but all the businesses should allow Life South to be out there, because Life South does great things for everyone in our community.
I made that corporate decision one time.
Yes, you did.
I sure did. Life
You
South
did.
called me when I worked at Park Place. I was in no position to say yes, but I said yes.
There you go. See that? You make good decisions.
And I believe that you guys still go out there, don't you? Or no? No.
Yes, we do.
Emeritus.
Sure do, yeah.
Yeah. Where's the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile today, Larry, is at we're at the Walmart on East 40.
The
Oh,
Walmart
okay.
on East 40,
Yeah, by the Appleton Museum.
Yeah.
which used to be
Down
close
here.
to where we broadcast from. Now
Yeah.
we're a little bit farther away than that.
Yeah, we're west.
We drove past it yesterday or whatever it was, 2 days ago, and said, "Oh man, we used to work there.
Yeah.
This used to be my playground." That song kept playing in my head.
Oh, I love that song by Madonna. That's a great song.
Okay, and if you can't get to the Bloodmobile, go to Life South on East Silver Springs Boulevard, right next door to the Cascades office complex.
And that's the worst decision she made for a movie, too.
Was it?
The song. Because you told me she insisted that her song play during the credits, and so the guys that made the movie gave in, and then they put Carole King's song in the very front of the movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, and if you can't get to Life South here in Ocala, where would you go if you were in Dunellen, Rob?
Right next door to Sweet Bay.
All right.
Sweet Bay.
Yeah, take a basket of fruit over to the Life South Community Blood Center staff. I think they'd like that. A fruit basket.
Right.
Just to say thank you to them. Next time we donate blood, we're going to do that.
See, somebody was just about
You
to
just say
bring.
thank you by showing up. You don't have to bring us anything.
That's
Just
right.
show up.
But right now, somebody's getting ready to bring fruit, and they said, "Oh man, now they're going to think Robin's the one who told me to do it." I was going to bring fruit, but now they're all going to think it's because of Robin.
That's right. Now they're going to
Right.
bring something different.
I do that. That's exactly what I do. When I have an idea, and then somebody says you should do this, I say, "Well, no, I'm not going to do it."
Exactly. Exactly. Just zip right out of there. Just forget.
All right, again, I can tell that you are still. You have not jet lag. What do you call it? Dragon Con lag, whatever.
Yeah, it's exhaustion.
Dragon Con lag.
That's what it is.
Well, get some rest today. Take a short day, as you said you were going to do, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you guys are the best. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you again. We'll take a little break and be right back.
You may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
When it comes to Facebook, the more friends we have and the more time we spend reading their updates, the less happy and less satisfied we